Introduction. Today we're condensing the 2-hour deep dive called Dopamine Expert. Doing this once a day fixes your dopamine, what alcohol is doing to your brain. By the Diary of a CEO. Dopamine is an important neurotransmitter that influences our survival, motivation, and behavior. It plays an essential role in driving us to seek out the things we need to survive. However, in today's overstimulating world, dopamine pathways are often hijacked by addictive substances, behaviors, and technology. From sugar to social media, modern environments flood us with opportunities for instant gratification, leading to an imbalance in our natural reward systems. This video explores the multifaceted role of dopamine in addiction, resilience, and well-being, shedding light on how understanding this chemical can transform our approach to life's challenges. What is dopamine? Dopamine is a chemical produced in the brain, central to experiencing pleasure, reward, and motivation. It allows us to derive joy and satisfaction from achievements while simultaneously propelling us toward goals. Dopamine also drives adaptive behaviors by helping us prioritize what is important. For instance, in a famous experiment, dopamine-depleted rats would eat when food was placed in their mouths, but starved when food was placed a short distance away. This shows the importance of dopamine's role in motivating actions that ensure survival and success. Why dopamine matters. Dopamine is vital to survival because it motivates us to explore, seek rewards, and engage with our environment. It drives behaviors that fulfill basic needs, such as eating and reproduction, ensuring that we are motivated to do what is necessary to thrive. The absence of dopamine disrupts this fundamental drive, as illustrated by experiments in which dopamine-depleted rats were unwilling to seek food even when starving. In humans, dopamine is not just about pleasure, it's also about motivation. Its role extends beyond survival to influence behaviors that determine our personal and professional success. Dopamine and its relationship to pleasure and pain. One of the most significant discoveries in neuroscience is that pleasure and pain are interconnected, functioning like a balance scale in the brain. When dopamine is released, the pleasure side of the scale tips, but the brain quickly compensates by activating the pain side to restore equilibrium. This dynamic process, known as neuroadaptation, explains why excessive stimulation can lead to addiction. Over time, the brain's response to repeated dopamine surges results in a chronic imbalance, with the pain side tipping more frequently and significantly. This creates a cycle where more stimulation is needed to achieve the same effect, perpetuating addictive behaviors. How understanding dopamine can improve your life. Understanding how dopamine works is important to managing behaviors in a world where overstimulation is the norm. Dopamine influences decision-making and drives habits, which can lead to addiction if left unchecked. By learning about dopamine's impact on our lives, we can make informed decisions about consumption and avoid behaviors that push us toward unhealthy dependencies. For example, reducing exposure to highly stimulating substances or activities can help maintain a balanced reward system, fostering healthier habits and greater resilience. Everyday activities that impact dopamine. Nearly everything we do influences dopamine levels, from eating to exercising, playing video games, or scrolling through social media. Even activities that are not inherently pleasurable, such as facing challenges, can affect dopamine. For instance, novel experiences or achieving goals release dopamine, signaling that these activities are rewarding. However, when overused or overstimulated, these pathways can lead to maladaptive habits, including addiction. Biggest misconceptions about dopamine. One common misconception is that people can become addicted to dopamine itself. In reality, dopamine is neither good nor bad. It is simply a signaling mechanism that highlights potentially rewarding or useful behaviors. Addiction occurs not because of dopamine, but because substances or behaviors trigger excessive dopamine release, making those stimuli more compelling over time. This distinction is crucial for addressing addiction effectively without demonizing the brain's natural reward system. How our brains are wired for addiction. Our brains are inherently wired for survival, which includes seeking out dopamine-releasing activities. This wiring, while advantageous in the past, is mismatched with the modern world, where synthetic dopamine triggers like drugs and social media provide overwhelming stimulation. This constant bombardment predisposes individuals to addiction as the brain struggles to regulate its dopamine levels amidst the artificial abundance. Finding ways to deal with pain. Many addictive behaviors arise from a need to escape pain or discomfort. Whether due to trauma or chronic stress, individuals often turn to substances or behaviors that provide short-term relief. However, this relief comes at a cost, as the brain compensates by reducing its dopamine sensitivity, leading to increased dependency. Addressing pain directly through acceptance and healthy coping strategies is a more sustainable path to healing. Stories of addiction. Addiction manifests in many forms, from substance abuse to compulsive behaviors like reading romance novels or using social media. Regardless of the addiction, the cycle is often the same: shame, secrecy, and loss of control. Over time, addictive behavior becomes the sole focus, narrowing an individual's world and isolating them from meaningful connections and responsibilities. How many people have addiction disorders? Addiction exists on a spectrum, with nearly everyone experiencing some form of compulsive overconsumption. Whether mild, moderate, or severe, these behaviors interfere with daily life and relationships. Understanding the spectrum of addiction helps normalize seeking help and highlights the importance of early intervention to regenerate new neural pathways. Conclusion: to fix your dopamine and create balance, focus on daily habits that promote sustainable, healthy dopamine regulation. Engage in effort-based, discomfort-first activities like exercise, cold exposure, or intermittent fasting, which provide gradual dopamine rewards without overstimulation. Reduce or eliminate addictive behaviors like excessive social media, gaming, or junk food consumption through dopamine fasting, allowing your brain's reward system to reset. Cultivate natural, real-world rewards, such as completing meaningful tasks, spending time with loved ones, or pursuing hobbies. Finally, practice mindfulness and embrace discomfort, shifting focus from chasing constant pleasure to finding fulfillment in the present moment. If you found this video eye-opening, hit the like and subscribe for more bite-sized knowledge. Check out the Diary of a CEO's full video for the deep dive, and thank you for watching Shots of Knowledge. See you on the next one.